All right, y'all, I decided to put the free and for hands-free tonight. And so we're coming to you live from Durham, and we're doing a live stream tonight. Uh, we do have a few minutes before class officially begins at 5:30 Eastern time. So we're going to start on our backs tonight. If you want to get a couple extra minutes on your back, you can just lay in any sort of position that feels good to you and your body. And as we begin to round out the month of May, which is very hard to believe, today is May 23rd. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so throughout classes that I've been teaching this month, I've been inviting participants to get curious about what it is that they're experiencing in their mental and physical bodies, and also paying attention to what they need in terms of anchoring. So what does that mean in terms of anchoring down, anchoring into your posture, maybe feeling your feet, the backs of your legs, arms resting against the mat. So using that as an opportunity to become curious about what is it that that means. And maybe it's me, but I've felt like there's something going on, whether it's in the cosmos, the ether, maybe there's another eclipse or a full moon going on. Just feels like there's just like a lot going on right now. And so using these moments as you get settled in before our practice officially begins to rest. We are starting on our backs tonight if you're joining me. And I'm probably going to mess it up, but there is a pretty famous yoga instructor. Her name is Chelsea Corris, and she's based in Vermont. She posted recently a quote about what it means to be resting. So we live in a society that talks a lot about the importance of go, go, go all the time. That's just what our society does. We don't really take a moment to honor and respect rest and restoration, just like restoring our body. And in this quote, which I will not get fully correct, you can look up Chelsea Corris later. She talks about how empowering it is to be the restful person. How if we take a moment to pause, it could be several moments, it could be all the moments, it could be short little bits at a time. We just take a moment to pause. How much better can we show up for our community, ourselves, our family, and friends? So rest is super important so that we can be our best selves moving forward. So it is officially 5:30 on my clock, so we're going to begin. Hi, everyone. I'm Casey. I'm subbing for Jackie, and I decided to put the free and hands-free tonight because we haven't done a live stream in a while. So I wanted to bring that to y'all from sunny, muggy, warm Durham, North Carolina. So tonight we're going to actually start off on our back. So making your way to your back. You can be in any position that feels good to you. Your legs could be extended long, your feet could be flat. And as I was mentioning at the beginning of our time together, that as May winds down, May being our mental health awareness month, using what I call grounding techniques. So maybe that's even naming my head is resting against the earth, my shoulders, my back, maybe my bum, maybe my feet or my legs are resting against the earth. Maybe the backs of my arms. It's helpful. You could place your hands on your low belly, or maybe one hand on your heart, the other on your belly. And take a long, slow inhale. And then a long, slow exhale. Do that a few times, just relishing in this opportunity to just take a deep breath in and out. Now check in with yourself. Now that you've done that a few times, maybe your shoulders have dropped a little bit closer towards the earth. Maybe you could separate your top and bottom teeth, unclenching your jaw. You could use your breath as your anchor. Me personally, I have a mantra called just keep breathing. That's something that I like to repeat to myself. You're welcome to borrow that or take it and use it as your own. It's a reminder to me that I need to take a breath when we're anxious or panicky or things are running very chaotic. We need to remind ourselves to take a breath. So just keep breathing. Just inhale and exhale. But that's my anchor. Maybe that could be your anchor, something that helps bring you back to the present moment. Could be simply saying to yourself as you inhale, I'm inhaling. And as you exhale, I'm exhaling. And take 3 more cycles of breath. Just noticing what you notice, how you're feeling. Maybe your floor is cool, cooler than maybe outside. And then give your fingers and toes a bit of a wiggle just to wake them up. Land your feet on your mat. And keep your right foot connected with the earth. Then bring your left knee in towards your chest and then extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, keep your shoulders connected to the earth, but reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Use your right hand maybe to gently rest on your right hip to ground your hip down. So we're not forcing our hip down. We're just using this as added weight. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, stretch your left arm up overhead as you extend your left leg forward and you stop where you feel sensations. So a lot of the time we go to 100%, so maybe try to go to 50 or 75% and then bring your arm and leg back up. Good. Stretch them back out. Go to 50 or 75% of the way. Good. And then bring them back. Good. Exhale, stretch them out. And bring them back as you inhale. Let's do two more. Good. Nice. Last one. Good. Lower your arm, lower your knee, your foot. You could also lower your knee and then windshield wiper your legs side to side. The next time that your knees drift over to the left, let's stay there for a spinal twist, maybe looking over your right shoulder. And then plant your feet flat on the mat. Keep your left foot down. Bring your right knee in towards your chest and extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Good. So again, we'll reach both arms up, pressing your shoulders into your mat. Take your left hand, maybe lightly resting on your left hip, maybe what we call our hip points, the top of your pelvis. Good. So breathe in. As you breathe out, find that 50 to 75% stretch. Good. Breathe in to reach up. Good. 50 to 75% as you breathe out. Good. Back and forth. Good. 3 more times. 2 more. Good. Last one. Good. And then lower your hand, lower your foot, and windshield wiper your knees side to side. Good. The next time your knees fall over to the right, let's stay there for a spinal twist, maybe looking over your left shoulders. Nice. Roll over onto your back, plant both feet, and grab a block, or if you don't have a block, you can grab a book, and put your block or book in between your thighs. Yeah. So press the backs of your arms into the mat, reaching your fingertips towards your heels, and squeeze the block that's in between your thighs. Good. And on your inhale, press into your hips, press into your heels, lift your hips up for bridge pose. And squeeze your block. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lower your back down to the mat. Just move your prop out from under in between your legs for a moment and windshield wiper your knees side to side. Walk your feet a little bit farther apart. And then stick your block in between your thighs again. So you might need to change the width of what you're using. And then on your inhale, press into your heels, lift your hips. And this time, instead of squeezing so you still squeeze your block so you don't let it go, but try to roll into your pinky toes on both feet. So you're starting to turn on your muscles on the outside of your hips. It's almost like you're rolling into your pinky toes. Good. One more breath in. One more breath out to lower all the way down. You can put your block or prop off to the side and windshield wiper your legs side to side. Yeah. And then however you'd like to get there, we're going to make our way towards standing. So taking your time to get to the top of your mat. So once you're there, inhale, reach your arms out and up towards the ceiling, grabbing a hold of your left wrist, lean up and over towards your right. Good. Inhale back to the center, grab a hold of your right wrist, lean up and over to your left. Nice. Inhale, reach both arms up. Good. As you exhale, bend your knees and fold forward. So maybe take a moment here to assess how you're feeling after those few back bends, spinal twists. You might grab opposite elbows. You could bend your knees generously and sway side to side. Shake your head out, yes and no. If you're holding on to opposite elbows, release your hands down. And then on your inhale, come up to your halfway lift. Bring your hands to shins, knees, or thighs. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your spine up halfway. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale your arms out to the side and come all the way up to standing. Fingertips reach. Good. Let's take that side bend over to the left. Come back to the center. Take your side bend over to your right. Good. Come back to the center and then fold forward once again. Good. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Good. And then exhale, release your hands down by your side. Stand tall, Tadasana. Good. On your inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, come into chair pose. So I don't know if you can see the trees, like the wind just picked up all of a sudden. It looks very ominous outside. It looked ominous when I was driving over to the studio too. Of course, I didn't bring an umbrella or a raincoat, so, tempting fate. So take a deep breath in, deep breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Keep your left foot forward and step your right foot behind you. So we're going to come to warrior one stance. If you'd like to have blocks framing your front foot, you can feel free. And then lift your spine upright. Good. So take a moment to assess. Do you want to walk your feet out a little bit wider? You want to step your right foot in a little bit? Good. And so sometimes having our arms up doesn't feel the greatest. Maybe your hands on your hips or at heart center. Maybe cactus arms. So where in this posture can you ground down, right? So we're probably mostly feeling a lot of the work in our left leg, the front leg, but also our right foot behind us. So what parts are touching the mat? Maybe you're gripping your toes, maybe the ball, big toe joint, the heel of both feet. And do you notice the subtle movements in our body when it's trying to assess? We've been here for a little bit of time. So maybe your body is like trying to recalibrate where it is in space. Maybe your thigh is like, I'm not enjoying this. Or maybe it's like, oh, yes. Yeah, let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Bring your hands to your hips, straighten through your left knee. Good. And then lean forward over your left leg. So you might stay here. You might bring your fingertips or your fist to blocks. You don't want to put any weight bearing in your hands. And here in your pyramid posture, if your stance is a little long, you could walk your right foot in a little bit closer. So again, take inventory, right? We just talked about rounding down through both feet. But where is your weight now? Maybe it's less in your toes and more in your heels, or maybe the arch, or if you don't have an arch, where an arch would be in your foot. And if you want, you could dangle your head forward over your leg. You can stay in this halfway lift situation. And if you haven't gathered, tonight's theme is slowing down, grounding down, paying attention, anchoring ourselves. Good. Bend into your left knee and come up onto your right tippy toes. So if you have a block to the right, just move it out of the way so you can come up towards a high lunge. And take your time. And then we'll step forward to chair pose. Good. And assess. How do right and left legs feel? How do your thighs feel? How's your low back feeling? Good. And then fold forward. Again, take a moment here, maybe shake out your head, yes and no. Maybe wag your tail side to side. Check in with your low back. Good. On your inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Good. Exhale, Tadasana. Good. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keep your right foot forward, step your left toes back. So find your warrior one on this side. And again, take your time. Good. And do pay attention to where you're grounding. How much are you gripping in your toes? So try to move my props and items around so you can see on the camera where I'm gripping. My big toe is spread very far apart. It's like the skin is just like. But again, name that. Is it every toe on your right foot? Maybe you can feel the subtle movements in your right thigh. Trying to keep your knee bent. Maybe feel it in your shoulders, creeping up towards your ears. Maybe you need to widen your arms. What do you feel in your left foot behind you? So just because we're holding does not mean that this is easy. So check in, continuously check in, see how you're doing, how you're feeling. Good. And then lower your hands to your hips, straighten through your right knee, and take your time to find your pyramid posture. Maybe it's walking your left foot in. Maybe it's reaching for your blocks or props. Maybe you're on fists. The next time around, we're going to add on to this sequence. We won't hold these two postures quite as long. And when we get there, I'll ask you to approach it with a sense of curiosity of how it feels to be in these moments of stillness. And then when we go a little faster, what do you notice? What sort of differences do you notice? And you might find that your body really likes one version or another. And it could ebb and flow every day. And then on your next inhale, bend into your right knee. Take your time to come up onto your left toes. Good. Take your time to rise up to high lunge. And then step forward to chair pose. Good. Fold forward. Again, maybe rock side to side. Take your head out. Yes and no. On your inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, come into chair pose. And then stand tall, Tadasana. Good. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Grab a hold of your right wrist, lean up and over to your left. Inhale back to center, grab your left wrist, lean up and over to your right. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, come into chair pose. Good, and then stand tall, Tadasana. Nice. Okay, so keep your left foot forward and we'll step our right toes behind us again. So come into warrior one. And take a moment again, assess. We will not be here quite as long as we were on this first round. Maybe you notice your body starting to do those adjustments. It is like, okay, what are we doing? Good, and then straighten through your left knee and then fold over your leg, maybe having your hands, fists on blocks for your pyramid variation. Good. So bring your right hand to the inside of your left foot. You might bring your hand on a block. You might have your fist on a block. And then bring your left hand to your left hip and start to turn towards the left. So you're coming towards a revolved triangle. Your left hand can remain on your hip or maybe on your sacrum. If you want, you could lift your left arm up overhead. And we will hold this one for a little bit. So embrace the shakes, the wobbling. Maybe you need a little bend in your knee. Maybe you need to adjust the stance on your feet. Again, I sound like a broken record, but what is it that you need to ground down to be here? Maybe it is that slow, long inhale and slow, long exhale. And can you notice those subtle shifts, those shakes? Those, oh my goodness, how much longer are we going to be here? Thoughts. Good. All right. Release your left hand towards the earth. Bend into your left knee and then just step your right foot forward to meet it, coming into a standing forward fold. But maybe grab opposite elbows again, maybe sway side to side, shake your head out yes and no. On your in-breath, lengthen your spine up halfway. Out breath, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana. Okay, so keep your right foot forward, step your left toes behind you. So coming into your warrior one. They'll be a little quieter on this side because I want you to really take it in and pay attention. Straighten through your right knee and make your way towards your pyramid posture. Beautiful. Bring your left hand to the inside of your right foot. You may bring your right hand on your right hip. Start to pull your elbow behind you. So you're twisting, coming into your oval triangle. Maybe you want to reach your arm up, right arm up. Maybe you don't. Let me do this next round. We're going to do them a little bit faster. And again, I want you to pay attention to how your body acclimates, assesses where it is in space. All right, bring your right hand down, bend a little bit into your right knee, step your left foot forward to meet your right standing forward fold. Again, sway, shake it out. See what your back is feeling like, especially when we do a twist like that in a IT band, this outer band on our legs, we can sometimes exacerbate some low back sensitivity. So just check in. Not always, but sometimes. Good. On your inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Good. Exhale, Tadasana. Good. Step your right foot behind you to come back to warrior one. Good. Straighten through your left knee and find your pyramid posture. Good. With your hand either on a block or maybe on a fist, start to twist open to the left, coming into your revolve triangle. And turn towards the top of your mat. Come up onto your right tippy toes and step forward to the top for standing forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana. Good. Right foot forward, left foot back, warrior one. Good. Straighten through your right knee and fold towards your pyramid posture. And bring your left hand down, twisting open towards your revolve triangle. Turn towards the front of your mat, lift your left heel and step forward to standing forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Good. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms out and out. Good. Grab a hold of your right wrist, lean up and over to your left. Inhale, back to center, grab your left, lean up and over to your right. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your spine up halfway. Exhale, fold. We're going to keep our left foot forward, but step your right toes behind you and lower your right knee to the mat. And maybe add a blanket to support your knee. So you could walk your hands up your left thigh if you'd like. You could lift your left arm, or both arms, or your left arm only, up towards the ceiling. So I'll actually turn to the side so you can see. So generally, when an instructor asks you to come into Anjaneyasana low lunge, they generally speaking will ask you to sink your pelvis down so you can get a pretty deep quad stretch in your back thigh. So maybe that's where you're going. If you'd like more of an outer hip stretch, I invite you to bring your hands towards your pelvis and tuck your pelvis under. So you can see I'm sort of wiggling back and forth. So now I feel more of this here on my right outer hip versus my thigh. There's not a right or wrong way to do this posture. It's more of a personal preference. So maybe you want to stretch through your front thigh, or maybe you're looking more for your outer hip. Either option. I'm going to invite you to do this movement without putting your hands down. Of course, if you need to for balance, please do. But release your hands down by your hips as you straighten through your left knee. And then fold forward and maybe reach your fingertips back behind you. Good. Swing your arms forward as you inhale, bending into your left knee, reaching your arms up. Good. Exhale, straighten, reach your fingertips back behind you. Good. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale. This last one, we're going to hold this hamstring stretch. So inhale. And exhale. So if at any point you need your blocks, you can feel free to grab them, but maybe you want to rotate your ankle out to the left and to the right, back and forth. Sending an ankle stretch. Good. And then inhale, bend into your right knee, reach your arms back up towards the ceiling. Good. And then step my right knee, your left, step your knee back to meet your other one, and then take the child's pose. Again, here in this posture, what's resting against your mat, against the floor? In times of chaos and anxiousness, using this grounding technique can help bring you back to the surface. And of course, that's not an absolute. It can sometimes do it, not always. What do you notice here? Maybe holding these postures tonight, you've created a bit of warmth, maybe a bit of tension as we've moved slowly. Maybe using this grounding technique as an opportunity to come back to and or catch your breath. And so take another couple of breaths here before we move over to the right side. And then slowly bring yourself up. So keep your left knee on the mat, step your right foot forward. Good. And again, take this moment to assess, right? Maybe you want this deep stretch in your front hip flexor, front thigh. Maybe you want to tuck your pelvis and feel a bit more on your hip. Right? Take your time. It's the beauty of yoga. As long as you're safe, there's no right or wrong answer. To explore what might feel good to you might feel very different to me, and vice versa. Good. So we're going to add those hamstring stretches. So take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, straighten through your left knee and then reach your fingertips behind you as you fold. Good. Inhale, bend into your knee, reach your arms up. Good. Exhale, fold, reach your fingertips behind you. Good. Inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale, fold. Okay, this last one you're going to hold. So inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale, straighten and hold. If you would like, maybe rotate your right foot out, maybe in, maybe with the placement, rotation of your ankle. And then inhale, bend back into your knee, reach your arms back up towards the ceiling. And then slide your knee to meet your other. So instead of coming into child's pose, if you have blocks, grab your blocks, place them in front of you. Now we're going to come into puppy pose. So bring your forearms towards your blocks or on your blocks. Keep your hips and your knees more or less in line, and you're going to sink your chest and forehead towards the mat. Some people find this to be more helpful to tap their hands behind their back, almost in reverse prayer position. This is called melting heart posture in yin yoga. So you might play with this. You might just leave your arms out in front of you. We're trying to counter our child's pose with a back bend here.
And the easiest way I've found to come out of this is to actually slide your shoulders forward over your elbows. And then you can walk your knees in and then make your way onto your back. Thanks. So once you are on your back, bring your left knee in towards your chest. You could extend your right leg long if that is within your wheelhouse. You could also keep your foot flat on the mat. And then reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. Maybe interlace your hands behind your thigh, or maybe you could hold on to your pant leg or your short legs. Just enough so you can let your shoulders relax into the mat. Sometimes when we clasp our hands behind our thigh, we tend to lift up to reach. So find a place where you can hold on and relax at the same time. So maybe your left knee is not totally straight. I have a pretty decent bend in my knee. My hamstrings are not happy today. So again, anywhere between 50, 75%. You don't have to be 100% straight here. And then maybe release the intensity of your clasp and just let your leg drift out a little bit. So like drifting forward a little bit. Good. And then bring your leg back in towards your towards your belly. And then maybe let your leg drift out to the left a little bit. Good. And then bring your leg back into center. And then we're going to roll over onto our right outer hip. And maybe you have a block that you could rest your foot, knee, or leg on. Or maybe you just let your leg dangle. Perhaps looking over your left shoulder. If you'd like, you could close your eyes here. So we're in this revolved, reclined, revolved, hand to big toe pose position, which is a twist. And I would invite you to just pay attention to how your glute is feeling on your left side. Right, we did a pretty intense twist, like a holding of our twist and revolved triangles. So just check in. And just stay with me for a little bit. We're going to do a couple more things on the left side before we move to the right. Roll onto your back and hug your left knee in towards your chest. Place your right foot on the mat and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. So coming into figure 4. So you could stay here. You could pull your legs in. Could reach your right foot up towards the ceiling. Some people like to sway here. Your right foot lifted, drop your right foot down to the earth, and then you're going to bring your left foot over to the right side. So you're coming to a spinal twist with a bit of a sacral stretch, if you will. So some people might like to pull their left knee in, so that might get more of a stretch on your low back. Some might like to push their knee away. That might give you more of a stretch on your outer hip. It just depends. You could also opt not to do either of them. Sit light. We're gonna do one more thing on the left side, and then I promise we're gonna move to the right. So roll onto your back. Keep your right foot planted for the moment. Hug your left knee in towards your chest, and then maybe grab a hold of your pinky toe or your big toe and come into half happy baby pose. So you could elect to extend your right leg out. Maybe you keep your foot flat. Just acknowledge, if you want to take a look at me, I have my right foot flat and my right knee is flopping out because it's like, I'm trying to help. My pelvis is like, I don't understand what you're doing. So I like to put my hand on my hip, my right hip, to help ground myself down to say, hey, you're okay. All good. You flop as you need to, but I got you. Bring your left knee in towards your chest. And then let's extend both legs out long for a moment. If you'd like, you could even reach both arms behind you, maybe full body stretch, 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 pointing your toes, pointing your fingers. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Got a couple more. Good. If you would like, you could relax your arms down a little bit. Just pay attention again. The big thing of mine, just checking in, observing. We get a lot of judgment throughout our day from everybody, society, our own selves. So let's just use this as an opportunity for information and assessing. See how your left side feels, how your right side feels, because maybe in just a few more minutes, your right side will feel a little bit different. And because we are asymmetrical beings, each side is different. So maybe it's not going to be the same, but maybe it will feel similar. All right, we're going to move on to the right side. So maybe planting your left foot to begin with, bringing your right knee in towards your chest, maybe holding on to the back of your thighs. You stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling. And again, you decide where the placement of your hands go so you can keep your shoulders on the earth. And maybe stretch your leg towards the front of your mat. And maybe bring your leg in towards your chest. Maybe allow it to drift over to the right a little bit. And bring it all the way over to the left. Maybe you have a wall next to you like I do. Maybe you don't. As we get closer and closer to our final resting pose, if you'd like to close your eyes and really pay attention to the experience rather than what you look like or what I look like. Sometimes that can be our best information source. Just listening, observing, recognizing and honoring. On your inhale, roll onto your back, plant your left foot, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Maybe pulling your legs in, maybe swing side to side. If your left foot is lifted, lower your foot down to the earth, and then we'll bring our right foot all the way over to the left. Again, maybe playing with the placement of pulling your knee in or pushing your right knee away. One of the best things about yoga is that we get to choose. Our instructors are just there to guide us, right? We get to choose where we go in each posture. If we do a posture, what does it look like? How deep or shallow? Yeah, begin to roll on to your back. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Good. And then maybe play with half happy baby pose. Maybe not. So let's extend both of our legs out long, stretching your arms up overhead, full body stretch. Beautiful. Take these next 4 to 5 cycles of breath to explore if there's anything else you might need before coming into your resting pose. Is it another spinal twist? Is it adding props underneath your legs? Is it getting into a cozy seat? What is it that you and your body need to be comfortable? And then bring yourself there. Bring yourself to that space. There is a quiet world within us. If you can surrender to the stillness, you can find that pool of calm water. Begin to deepen your breathing. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe roll your wrists and your ankle. If you'd like, you could turn your head side to side. Reach both arms up overhead, pointing your toes towards the front of your mat for a full body stretch. Rolling over to one side, coming to your fetal posture. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze soft. And with as little effort as possible, make your way towards a seated position. Please bring your palms together in front of your heart for what looks like prayer position. This is called Anjali Mudra in yoga. It is the balance of our right and left hemispheres. I invite you to join me in bowing forward as a sign of our gratitude for the space and ability to practice not only in studio for ourselves, but also online for ourselves and with one another. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. And for my friends online, if you like this content, please like and subscribe so you can get notifications of when we go live again. Thank you, everyone.